effects or weirdness or anything like that, because if I put it, I'm going to cut all that shit out. You'll sound like a pro. Genesis did it with us once. You don't much, though. You don't do like
No, I just pause.
I do.
Say nothing.
I do.
When we did, we tried to be like intellectuals talking last Thursday, and I was a stuttering fuck. But I don't know that I sounded that dumb. I think I sounded all right.
Only since you bought it.
All right, it's on. You don't. How often do you drink now?
Not too often.
No. I keep going. I keep cutting myself off like every couple days. I'll. Last weekend, the weekend before, all 3 days, I drank kind of hard, like easy but hard. Actually, last Saturday I got drunk. See.
Last Saturday I drank. We went to a wedding.
Yeah.
Joe and Brittany. No, first we went to an engagement party from people from the. She has this group of people she work out with. They call themselves the Pain Squad, but they do HIIT classes and all that.
Get up in your mouth.
Oh,
There you go.
so yeah, we went to the engagement party, hung out, open bar. It was nice. And after that, we were driving past the Avalon, and she had this idea like, I heard it's nice in there. Oh yeah, it's nice, and have nice weather.
Did you guys crash your wedding?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah. So she said, "You want to crash?" I said, "Sure." So I called her bluff. I said, I went to the ATM, pulled out $20. It's like, all right, let's go. So we went, and they had a double wedding. So the first wedding, that's
you went
not
to
what it
both of
was.
them?
Yeah, we went to both of them. And so not only did we, drink at the open bar on the dance floor, she actually went to the groom and congratulated him. I got pictures. We signed the guest book, Wedding Crashers.
Hey, Greg, do me a huge favor because I can't get up. Can you push the door and lock it?
Oh yeah.
This Hobart's once it starts to get dark, drunk people just come in. Or I don't know if they do now because the lights are always off, but they might. Thanks, man. The door's fucked up, so you just gotta push it a little.
Yeah, we put thanks for having us.
Did you
Wedding
just say-
Crashers.
I don't think I'd give a shit
Nah.
as long as they were respectful.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
It was fun for us, when you've been together with somebody like going on 10 years, you got 2 kids, you gotta find a little weird stuff to have fun.
I think people get into stuff. I think that's part of being something long term. Or actually just being in a relationship. Period. I don't know. It all depends. People routine seems to be important too. One of my complaints about life is I keep things like what's the dumb. I have a lot of really stupid quotes, and one of them is the only pattern that the only habit that I have is not having a habit. Like that's my habit. That's a really fucking thing. Like. When I say it, it doesn't work. So, I don't know what to call this thing. I also don't like the word podcast, even though everything's going to be podcast. So, I like the idea of people in the fitness world finding their tribe. Like, I think it's very critical to have like a group of people, and you kind of live your life the way that you are like friends, your family, like that thing. You're like your tribe. And I heard I read a personal trainer that she's like a mobility expert. And she just always talks about like finding your tribe, find those people that like make you live your best life with the least amount of stress and give you support for when life like starts kicking you in the ass. And like, I like that. So I didn't know what to write. So tentatively this podcast is going to be called Find Your Tribe, or something with tribe in it. We could talk about it later. But so, my name is, you don't have to say your last name. Like we could do that later, but my name is Sretin. You could say your name.
My name is Greg.
Genesis.
You sound pretty smooth, man.
Yeah, he's done this before.
Let me clear my throat, and it's all downhill.
So I'll share the goals of the show first. I have a little outline for anybody listening, if they're wondering, and I will not go in order. But the goals of this show are to share our fitness journeys and to give out advice So everybody else that's part of this show is actually in pretty good shape and keeps the fitness lifestyle in mind. I'm the one with the worst habits. I'm the one with inconsistency, which is fine. I'll own it because part of the plan of the show is for you guys to help me change that. And as a result, anybody else that's listening that wants to do the same thing, you can help them too. And then if I do what I think I will do, I would also help them. So that's the first thing. And then you guys also have your own, like, it's not easy to maintain. It's not easy to, like Genesis, for example, is a power lifter. It's not easy to get that next, like, level of strength, to hit that next, like,
PR.
PR, yeah. PR stands for what? Personal record?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it does.
I'm also going to represent the layman. I don't want to say the dummy because that's mean, but the layman, the uneducated. When I read articles about CrossFit, I feel like I'm reading like an advanced math book. There's so many abbreviations and so many like this and that. I worked out with Genesis. It's been like 3 months now. At least.
It's been a while.
And he showed me a sheet of paper, and then he sent me some links from bodybuilding.com. Like, this is the bench program you should try, like all this stuff. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know. I need to open like 3 extra Google windows because I don't know a lot of that stuff. It could be rocket science. There's a lot to it.
Oh, it's very simple.
But it's very simple. Like, you pick up on some of the abbreviations and you're good. So anyway, for now, PR is personal record. What's the second here? Oh yeah, the second goal is to create an online community of idea sharing and support for anyone that is or wants to live a more active lifestyle. That's a typo. And then I put to create our tribe. Maybe I'll cut that part out.
Do we have a tribal name, dance, or we
We could have all kinds of stuff.
tribal tattoos?
Maybe not. Bring back that Urlacher tattoo.
Oh yeah.
Urlacher. Then we can convince him to come because he still lives in Chicago, right? Him, Pam Anderson, like anybody with that tattoo. What's the third one? Part of that is, so we'll have our website, we'll have everything set up, and it'll be good to engage other people online. I didn't mention it yet, but we are recording in Hobart, Indiana. That's Northwest Indiana. But we each live in different parts of Northwest Indiana, which is called the region. And we want to engage the community in being more fitness minded and listening to us because what we say is interesting or educational, insightful, whatever. So we want to engage the community in that through our website, through Facebook, through whatever areas we can do that and help each other out. Like, it's always easier to do something. I don't know if I know people where one person goes on a diet, another person doesn't, like husband and wife team, and it just doesn't work. It's too hard. You're trying not to eat honey buns, and your beautiful wife is pounding honey buns. Not to make assumptions about anybody's wife and their honey bun eating addiction.
That is the worst thing you can do, is go on a diet with your spouse.
It's tough if they don't. Or together?
Together. This is what happens. You both stick to it. You will lose weight, she will not, and she will hate you. That's exactly what happens. Been there, done that.
Yeah. I don't mean to cut it off like that. What is it? The third thing is to engage the local fitness community, interview local leaders in fitness and nutrition, as well as anyone else that is a leader in this field that is willing to discuss things with us. What I mean by that is, once we get it going, oh man, they're after us. Once we get it going, I want to get local gym owners, people that have been in the game for a while, nutrition experts. Now they have doctors that specialize in functional medication, which is something that's kind of it's pretty awesome that term's flying around. That's like years ago when Atkins was a thing, and now I guess it's sort of replaced by paleo. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's super similar.
I think keto. Or
Yeah.
Ketogenic diets.
Yeah, ketogenic. Yeah. And so that's it. But now the science is backing it up. Back when Atkins was there, he was like talking about it, but my man was fat. And somebody made fun, like he died at an early age, but I think he fell down some stairs or something.
Yeah, he didn't die from, I think, nutrition. I think he died, from an unfortunate accident.
Yeah, so, but the science behind like ketogenic diets it's pretty amazing. Same combined with like, what do you call it, intermittent fasting. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, she does that. You have low carb, ketogenic, low fat, intermittent fasting, Weight Watchers. Yeah, we all know that works.
Yeah.
And the what's that? paleo diet.
Paleo, yeah.
Yeah. And those are pretty much your big ones.
Yeah.
The intermittent fasting one is it does work. I've tried variations of it, and it works.
I have questions about that, but in the future I'll have questions. I have a friend that's been doing it for 3 months, and he just switched. Like, he gave himself an 8-hour window, and now, for anybody that doesn't know, intermittent fasting is pretty much like you do cycles that are usually like 24 hours. The basic one. I know there's ones
16.
that are like,
you
do like
it varies, but
you
you don't
do-
eat for a pre-planned period of time,
Right.
and then you eat in a certain window.
right, and it's usually 8-hour window, right, that you can eat.
16-8, I think, is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the standard or the starting point at least.
That's where
16
you-
fasting,
Yeah.
8 eating.
Okay. But the guy at work, he did a couple months 16-8, and now he's like the last 2 weeks been giving himself a 2-hour window. We'll see where it goes. What I wanted to ask him, because he does do CrossFit and then he swims too. I'm just wondering, like for endurance stuff or like say powerlifting or like any kind of like non-maintenance stuff like strength training or endurance training, like how much of an effect does it have on your stamina, on your workouts, on your performance? I don't know.
It depends on what your window is. Like for me personally, if I work out in the morning, I skip breakfast, so I do a variation of it. So I don't do the 16 hours. I'll do 12. So if I eat 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, let's go with 9. So I eat dinner at 9, and that's it. So I'll skip breakfast, and I'll go to the gym around 10 in the morning, and then after the gym, then I'll eat. So that's my 12 hours, and it doesn't,
Doesn't affect your
it
lift.
doesn't. No, it doesn't affect my lift. It doesn't endurance energy. No effect. Now, if you throw other variables in it like work, other activities that you may do around the house, and yeah, it's gonna have maybe some effect. But no, it shouldn't affect your endurance. I mean, that's why you're going to the gym, to build up the endurance anyway.
Yeah. Have you messed with any of that?
A little bit. Kind of right now, what I do is like I wake up, have like a cup of coffee, and then pretty much don't eat until I get home from work. So I'll fast for like 8 to 10 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Some people consider water or things like that breaking the fast. Other people, it's kind of like, I guess, dependent on how you kind of view your fast. But yeah, like I said, I'll have that coffee. So usually, if my last meal is around 8, 9 o'clock, then I'm not eating until 5, 6, 7 o'clock the next day.
Right.
But in terms of like endurance, I think it just depends. Like for me, if you wake up, you work out, and you're coming off of like a 4-hour fast, or not 4 hours, but like let's say 8 hours from your last meal before you went to bed, it's not going to affect you very much. Like you still have that nutrition in your body. But if I were to go to work and then fasting all day, going to work, coming home, and then training, I think it would have an effect. Just because I don't have any nutrients, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I didn't refuel my body at all. So I think it kind of depends. In general, I think keto or keto, however you want to say it, I think there are some studies out there that have slight negative effect on performance.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if that's what you're gonna stick with, like nutritional wise, like there's two parts to fitness: nutrition, exercise. If you could stick to a keto diet, then and your performance suffers a little bit. Well, at least you're still on your diet.
Right.
Where if you try to do, like a clean eating where you eat, 6 times a day, but they're real small meals, and technically your training and performance is better on that, but you yo-yo on it. You could do it for a week, and then, you're off it for a week, and then you're on it for a week, and then you're off it for 2 weeks, and you're on it for 2 weeks. It's better to stay consistent in both aspects.
Yeah.
Even if, you're trying to, grind out that performance factor just a little bit. It's still better to stay consistent with the nutrition than not stay consistent with it.
Cool. Yeah. I had more questions. I had more. I had a follow question, but I think it can wait. Because I was going to ask. I asked about the performance stuff, but I was kind of going to ask about cognitive, like if you're fasting and maybe your performance. So you guys both say it doesn't really affect it. It might minimally, but how do your brains work? What if somebody asks you to make some change or, do anything like that? Are you foggy? Are you fuzzy? I think usually when people overeat, they tend to be like mush brained. But what I wanted to do was hit the rest of these goals real quick. The fourth one is just to fill in the gaps and anything that we don't discuss. Maybe we could figure out what we don't and fill in that stuff so that when somebody listens to us, they get a really good picture of how to attack any goals that they might have or get new insight or just like understand, like be like, oh, I'm going through that too. Like I do that too. Oh, that's me. It'd be good. It'd be part of the building of this whole thing. So you guys both seem pretty knowledgeable. So what I want to do now and what we might end up doing, this is what we might, because I said I want to limit it to 1 hour. What we might end up doing for the rest of this is just do a little, like, I don't know if you guys want to go first because all I have is like self-deprecating shit to talk about. Like, I don't have anything.
Let's hear it.
All right. So my name is Sretton. I'm going to be the guinea pig of the show in a way. I'm in the middle of a transition. I need to lose a bunch of weight. I need to get into shape. I need to have better habits, sleeping, nutrition, everything, consistency. I have all these goals, which part of our show is that we're going to document what I do. I played soccer, and I'm 39. I played soccer in high school. What did I do? In college, I did the freshman, they do the freshman, what are they, freshman 15?
Yeah.
I did freshman. I gained I think 60 pounds my freshman year. By sophomore year, I was 113 pounds heavier than when I graduated high school. And I still tried to be I still rode the coattails of my activity in high school. Every day I was doing something like soccer, and then I did I'm Serbian, so I did Serbian folklore dancing on Fridays, performances on Saturdays. Don't laugh. So I did all that stuff, and I also grew up. I was fascinated with muscle and fitness. I thought that's the way you're supposed to do stuff, lifting. So I followed all those dudes from the late 80s and then 90s. Everything they did. So I thought I was really smart as far as what it took to get big in the gym, but I just went and did whatever regular prep stuff. When I got to college, being a fatso, I really got into eating everything, and I was for whatever reason, I just gained a bunch of weight, was way less active. And then after that, I right now I'm hovering around 280, and I do 20-pound swings up and down. And I want to get to 220. I want to be able to, I play basketball leagues. That's the one thing that I've been doing consistently over the last 10 years is playing basketball leagues all the time. And I'm considered the fast fat guy, the fast big guy. It's terrible because the fast big guy is going to have a heart attack on the court right around his 40th birthday. I'm going to try to dunk, miss, then get dunked on, and my heart's just going to stop.
Are we still doing the whole dunking thing? We've been doing this for 10 years now?
Hey, man, I got my goals. I'm going to be that 40-year-old guy that dunks. Actually, I don't even. Can Michael Jordan even dunk anymore?
Yes, he can.
You guys got that.
Yes, he can.
Can he? Good. Well, he's a lot taller than me. Not really.
6'6". 6'6". Maybe 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, between 6'2" and 3. Yeah. So he's not that much taller. So that's me. There's not much to it. And, I got all these goals for what we're going to do here, and I kind of want to be the example that working the system works. I picked my co-hosts you guys happen to be people that I know that have been doing the thing for years now. So, whichever one of you guys wants to go next, go ahead. That's me. I'm sure there's more shit I could talk about, but that's where I'm at. And I thank your lucky stars. I only took 4 minutes doing it. I could have kept going. I'm gonna keep going. Come on. Greg,
right, well,
you want to go?
So once again, my name's Greg. I'm 28 years old. Kind of been into sports and activities my entire life, mainly baseball. Played a little football, basketball, but baseball competitively. So I've always kind of been active, but I really didn't know anything about nutrition. In high school, I started lifting. After probably a couple years of lifting, I thought I kind of have it all figured out. I know, you're supposed to do this many sets, this many reps, add weight, whatever. and I really kind of thought I had it figured out. And then around 21, I kind of was just messing around on YouTube. Ran across this guy, and well, before that, I used to read all the fitness magazines and stuff like that, and especially for nutrition, I always kind of just wanted, oh man, just something easy, something I can do. I never really cooked. You read these bodybuilders' diets; they're eating, 7 steaks a day, a whole fish, things like that, and it's just, and it's not, using performance enhancing drugs as well, so a normal person, or especially me at the time, like I said, I didn't know anything about nutrition, so I was a little overweight while still being active. But then, I started watching this YouTube video, and it just really made sense to me. And then I kind of started.
Who was? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Grab a drink of water. Get a little.
Who was the YouTube guy? Because we're going to talk about YouTube a lot. I think YouTube is the internet is an amazing tool for information now. And I've paid like $5, $10, $15 for certain things, buy books because I want the thing. But I mean, you can get everything for free.
Right.
And a lot of these people are easy to contact too. Like you could actually shoot an email to some of these people.
Oh yeah.
And they'll talk with you. So sorry. So who was this?
So, the first guy I started watching, his name was Matt Ogus. He's still on YouTube, still does stuff. And then I kind of started springboarding off of that, just watching other videos, and they're repeating the same stuff. And especially back then, the fitness community, at least the natural bodybuilding fitness community, that's kind of what I got started in, or watching. They all were saying the same things. They'd all share each other's videos. They do collaborations. I mean, now it's huge. And, back then there was maybe 20, 25 channels of good content. Now there's, hundreds, thousands.
Right.
So it's not quite as tightly knit.
1001.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and it just made sense. And it just kind of started talking, I guess, just made nutrition a lot easier for me. And, broke down the training as well, a lot easier for me. So it's really kind of when I started, I guess, getting more serious and more of, hey, I want to, kind of make fitness my career as well. So that's kind of where I came from. Like I said, just, always been in sports, but really didn't know anything about nutrition up until about 7 years ago. And, I'm still learning. It's not something you grasp just from a week. For the most part, nutrition and fitness are simple, but there's so much complexity to them as well.
Yeah. And you're a personal trainer.
Correct.
All right, cool. Yeah. So we'll be asking a lot of questions. So what's up, Genesis?
I have nothing.
Nothing?
Where do I start? Name's Genesis. And I guess you could say I'm officially a powerlifter. Yay. That's where it's at, powerlifting. Even though I do respect all fitness levels, I have a few bodybuilder friends that we go back and forth, powerlifter this, bodybuilder that. It's all the good fun. We give CrossFitters a hard time, but I do respect anybody in the fitness aspect at any level. So let's see, where did I start? Wow.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. You just say I'm a powerlifter. You don't even have to explain.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Thing is, you've been gradually. Has it been a gradual obsession?
Yeah. I decided to powerlift 2 years ago.
Right.
Actually, I was just telling people that I was going to do a powerlifting competition. I was just that. I wanted to, but you tell people I'm going to learn how to do a backflip, or I'm going to learn how, one day dunk. It's just one of those things. But I found myself the more and more I kept telling people that I was going to do a powerlifting competition. People kept asking me, it was time to put up or shut up. So I finally entered myself in my first powerlifting competition 2 years ago. May of 2016, possibly.
It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah.
But before then, as far as working out, I never, if you would have knew me growing up, played basketball, not competitively, just for fun. Was never that really good at it, but that's just what we did, play basketball.
You played a little college ball?
Yeah. Somehow I accidentally made a Division III college NAIA basketball team, but I digress. And actually, that's when I started working out. So one day we were all in the weight room messing around. Granted, I never touched a weight in my life, never picked one up. And so we're sitting on the Smith machine. And anybody know who familiar with the Smith machine? That's it's the Smith machine. That's all I have to say. So I seen a guy using it.
Are you saying that that's not a machine that's respected, maybe? Or
I personally feel all Smith machines should be right next to the deadlift platform where you do sumo. That's just me. But that's just that's the powerlifting speaking right there. Smith machine, sumo deadlift. That's just.
So you don't respect sumo deadlifts?
That's all. I do and I don't.
Yeah.
Probably more so I don't because I can't sumo. That's probably why. So, guys on the Smith machine. I look at the weight. I didn't even know what the weight was. I just took a guess. I didn't even know how to add the weight properly. So I tell the guy, I can do that. He says, no, you can't. I said, what is that? He said, 185. I said, I'm 185. I wasn't 185. I was probably more like 220. You know, it's one of those things where as a guy, you always give your high school weight, kind of like a female. So I was giving my high school weight, 185. I was probably more like 225, 230. Never touched a weight in my life. I said, I can do that. That's my body weight. Sit down on the Smith machine, gives me a spot, unracks it, goes straight down, hits my chest. The whole entire gym weight room is just dying laugh. They let it sit there for at least, it seemed like an eternity. Got it off me. And was I embarrassed? Oh yeah. I went home. So my goal when I first started working out was to be able to lift 185 on the Smith machine. And that's where I started. So my first day at the gym after that, I literally came into the gym when nobody was there early in the morning with a piece of paper, and I went from machine to machine, and I wrote all the instruction that was on the machine. Literally wrote everything down. Muscle, chest, I had no clue what to do. But that was my goal, was to do 85. That's kind of what got me started. And I've been lifting ever since, but kind of going through the motions, but things didn't start getting really clear for me probably to about 2 years ago when I officially started powerlifting. I have tons of powerlifting stories. Only been doing it 2 years, but I'm pretty sure we'll touch on that a little later. But yeah,
how many competitions have you been in?
I've been in 3. My first 2 was a bench only competition. That's my strong part. First place in my division.
All right.
And my most recent one was a push and pull, which is deadlift, which is bench and deadlift. And I got first in that too, which was pretty cool.
Can you bench the 180 now?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got a 180.
Just checking. I've been messing with your levels because they're high, and I've been turning my knob the whole time. So I'm gonna fix that for next time. You might be a little loud on this one, but okay. So, yeah, a running theme that we're gonna talk a lot. So, in this world of fitness and I kind of want to hit everything. I want to hit every angle. So, like mental, physical, nutritional. Like I want to, sleep, whatever each facet of living the healthiest life that you can. I kind of want to talk about that as we do this thing. But one of the running themes. So one of the things in society that people normally talk about, because we live in an overweight society, especially we're in the Midwest, we're near Chicago, we're in Indiana. It's one of the least fit states in the country. Greg and I were talking about this earlier, or I was talking at Greg earlier. Just a lot of fat people around here, a lot of unhealthy people around here. But there's also a lot of very fit people, a lot of people that hike and climb and do all, are in the gym every day, like. There's both. There's just more of the ones that are not healthy, and everybody wants to know what that magic thing is. Everybody knows what that secret wants to know what the secret diet is. Like one of our running themes is going to be, like you said, put up or shut up. Like it's not meant to be a mean thing, and it's not meant to be something that's like a negative thing. But if you want to do something, you actually have to get up and go do it. Another theme is going to be consistency. So when you first started lifting, it took you, let's say it was 10 years ago, right?
Yes.
Is that
Yeah,
that's
10.
fair, right? So you were eight years of just trying and being consistent and going. And I remember we used to we didn't make fun of you, but I remember he used to lift a lot. So like the top half of his body got real big, but but he kind of ignored his like legs and stuff. And it was
Naturally,
honestly,
yes.
and it was honestly like, if we're being real, it might have been like a year. But we made fun of him like once, twice, I don't know. And we, as like Genesis and I, grew up working in the same, like we used to work at the Radisson together in high school and then college, and then, you know, then way longer than we should have.
A lot longer.
And but like, he took that to heart. So he is one of those people that you might envy somebody that won't let something go because it's a driving factor to stay consistent. So whatever you need to stay consistent, to keep going, to keep doing it. So I read articles all the time about like how do you keep a constant motivation? And you just need to just do it. Now, how do you start? You just get up and do any movement. Go. I always thought it was silly when a lot of these places, like for running and walking and jogging, because I always want to do the extreme thing. And like they say, walk for 5 minutes. If you can't 5 minutes, then whatever. Like walk for 5 minutes today, 5 minutes, 5 seconds tomorrow. Like it's just do, like put up or shut up and be consistent is one of the main factors to everything. And I'm saying that like as the least consistent guy of the group. So, yeah, so that's a little bit about Genesis and Greg, and we'll have a rotation of a couple guys here. I'll always be here, I think. So that sucks for everybody else if they don't like me talking about things. But, yeah. So we're only at 31 minutes, so I'd like to do another 28.
Let's go.
If that's cool. So
I'm just getting warmed up.
So so I wrote down here mind, body, nutrition, and sleep. So I don't respect sleep. It is one of the most important things, sleep. But what I guess we'll talk about something else. I'm getting off topic here. What I do want to talk about is, where should we start here? Now I'm being a bad host. Let's start with what's one thing this week. Like it's the end of we're recording this on a Thursday night. What's one big fitness focus that you have had this week? Whether it's talking with somebody around you, a loved one, yourself. What's one main factor of focus for the two of you guys? Like what's something that what's your thing this week? And it might be the same thing that you had over the last like 3 months, 6 months, year. But what's a big thing with you guys?
For me, especially, I don't know, these last 7 weeks, started a job that's a lot more physical. So I haven't been lifting as consistently. So just staying on point with nutrition to really not just fall behind on all facets of fitness. So I've really been just like hammering home fitness or nutrition and just kind of staying on that course.
So when you talk nutrition, how do you what's one of the most important things, like meal prep, your recipes you use, how frequent you go to the grocery store? What's a big thing?
So the biggest thing is just in generalization is hitting a caloric intake mark. So counting your calories. Ideally, you want to count your macronutrients as well. But worst case scenario, like even if I get busy or I'm tired, and I mentioned earlier I was kind of doing a little bit more intermittent fasting, and I kind of like that as, if I get home and I'm tired and I don't want to cook something or just put something together that my girlfriend already cooked, because I don't do a lot of cooking. Mm-hmm. But that I could stop and get something quick that might be high in calories, but I'm not going over on my calories for the day. Yeah, maybe I didn't quite hit, my protein intake for the day, but I did hit my caloric requirement for the day.
So you track everything. Or you kind of already have an idea because you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be some like trial and error, because I can't just tell you. I mean, I can give you an idea of how many calories you should be eating for the day if you want to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain weight. But everybody's just activity levels and genetics and just past dieting history will kind of dictate where you're at. But yeah, everybody should have some sort of idea how many calories they're eating for the day.
So do you keep a log?
So like if I just go by calories, I kind of just track in my head.
Oh, okay.
I know I ate, roughly 500 calories. Now I do weigh stuff. Like I do have a food scale.
Uh-huh.
So even if I'm just going by calories, I still weigh stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm hitting macronutrients, I weigh everything I can. But I do go by, if I'm eating a protein bar, I don't weigh it up. I just go by what the package says.
Do you have what do you call that food like sweet tooths? You really just want like crappy food, pizza, like
Cravings?
Yeah,
cravings.
yes.
Sorry. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, for me, it's really anything.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is peanut butter.
Okay.
And I find that kind of the hardest thing to fit into, I don't know, my nutrition, because I love to eat massive quantities of peanut butter.
Uh-huh.
In even if I'm on a higher fat, macronutrient ratio, I still find it hard to kind of fulfill. But yeah, I like burgers, I like pizza, I like chips, I like sweets, I like salty. I do like everything. So when I do, especially when I'm dieting or I guess your whole nutrition is your diet, but when I'm cutting to lose weight, I try to keep carbs and fats moderate. Like I don't go super high on one to where I can't have the other, and I don't go,
Right.
So I try to keep them both moderate.
Okay. Genesis? I forgot the question.
Goal for the week. It kind of spun off, but for me, nutrition.
Okay.
Goal for the week. For me, as a powerlifter, I'm always chasing the next meet, the adrenaline rush. So for me, my goal recently, I always set a end of the year goal with all my compound lifts. So that's what powerlifting you have. Your three big lifts, the big three: bench, squat, deadlift.
Conventional deadlift.
Yes, conventional deadlift.
I gotta Google sumo deadlift.
See
what this is.
It burns me. Was watching somebody come in and sumo deadlift.
For the record, I prefer sumo deadlift over conventional.
I actually tried to learn how to sumo. I don't have it.
Is that the one where you have it up over your head?
No.
I gotta look it up.
You get like a much wider stance. You don't pull quite as far.
Okay.
A lot of, I guess, conventional deadlifters frown upon it. So
Okay.
You short of your bar path. You bend down and you stand up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you don't even bend down. I'll just. I digress. I'll go to something else.
I went last time Genesis and I we worked out a couple times, and there were like I think a month and a half gap or something between the 2 or 3 times we worked out. I think it was twice, and we worked out once, and then I worked out a couple times by myself, and I got real cocky. Not for like strength or anything, just for like my knowledge. And I remember going. This must have been like a year ago. I went to the gym with my cousin, and he's awfully lazy. But he wants to be fit, and he knows, like, we all do what we usually, most of us do that easiest thing. So if, like, you like to jog, you'd rather jog than go, like, do squats. Like, I absolutely hate, I'm afraid of squats, but I'll do them. I hate lunges. Lunges are so, like, they just suck to do. So I usually try to avoid that. But he just wants to, like, light jog. So we went to the gym. We were going to do squats, and he was like, isn't there an easier way? So I was like, yeah, we can grab those, what do you call the boxes you could jump on? Box jump, they're like the raised platforms.
Yeah.
So I grabbed one that was actually pretty like tall, like 2 feet tall, and I put it under his butt, and he's like, you got anything else? Like something taller? I was like, dude, like...
You're just going to be unracking it and putting it back.
Do you want to just stand up? And like the whole time, and so I got frustrated.
You replace squats with squats. That's what you do. That's how you replace squats. If you don't want to, you replace squats with squats. Or
Explain.
if you don't like, you got to do squats.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to do back squats, try front squats. They have machine squats. Try those. But squats where it is. And I'm not a person who squats. I have a million reasonable excuses, but they're still excuses. Yeah. For why I haven't done a full meet. That is one of my goals, to eventually do a full meet, which I will do. My strength is more of bench and deadlift.
Full meet is competition in all three.
All three lifts. So back to the goal of the week. So the goal of the week for me has been preparing for my next meet. Haven't have a date yet, but it'll probably be, I'm thinking October, November. So right now I'm in a bench deadlift program. After my last competition doing bench and deadlift. That's where push and pull. That's where it's at. So my goal is mainly every week is learning my body, and that's the most important. The most overrated saying to me is no pain, no gain. That's just.
I actually learned that from you.
It is very.
I just learned that.
It is very overrated. Me and my workout partner, we go at it all the time. He'll tell me, "Oh, you had one more left. Oh, you could have did this." Over the past 2 years, I've learned my body to the point where if I'm benching, I used to come in, I just bench, sit on a flat bench. I just did it till I got tired. If something bothered me, I just no pain, no gain. Rest. Suck it up, rest. What I didn't realize, my body was speaking to me. I didn't know stuff like for bench. Bench is a compound lift. People think it's all chest. Yes, it is. But it's a compound lift. So my body was telling me, hey, idiot, your front delts is taking a lot of pressure when you benching heavy all the time. So you need to address it. So I'm always listening to my body. Every week. That's my goal every week is to come in and when I lift, all right, what is your body telling you? Is your body telling you need to work more your front delts, your rear delts? This week I learned my hamstrings weren't as strong as I thought they were from deadlifting. It took a while. Even before that, I learned pre-workout. I learned that I decided to stop taking pre-workout because I would deadlift and I would go for pre-workout and it would set in my stomach. My body was telling me, "Hey, idiot."
That's pre-workout's a drink that
Yeah.
smelly drink that you have to chug.
So on a weekly basis, that's my goal is when I come to the gym, all right, what is your body telling you to do? When to push it, when not to push it. And I'm always learning something new. Like I said, just last week, I had a little fun with a bodybuilder friend of mine and we had a little deadlift competition. That's the thing about powerlifting and lifting, Joe. It's fun. We have tons of fun. You see people, the videos doing the hard work, the screaming and yelling, and all that's it's amazing. But we have fun. We go to the gym and we throw around weight. We have competitions. So we had this little deadlift competition to see who can do the most. Bodybuilder versus powerlifter. Of course, I don't know who won, but that's a whole nother story. But my hamstrings took a beating because as a powerlifter, I'm not used to doing a lot of reps. I'm more of heavy weight, low reps. So my hamstrings were exposed. So what did I do? I listened to my body. I said, you know what? How about separating your leg day and doing hamstrings before you deadlift? And I've had amazing results since doing that. And that's just my body. So yeah, for far as a goal, I know that was a long answer just to say listen to my body. But yeah, my goal on a weekly basis is I start the week out listening to my body. And I'm always finding out things about my body that I didn't even know.
Do you document everything?
Everything. I take videos. I write it down on my phone. For all my lifts, I want to see if for competition. And that's the thing about powerlifter. It's objective based. I'm one of those guys where I need objective. Always been like that. Even in video games, you get me to play Grand Theft Auto. I can't play an open world game. I need a clear cut objective. I need to know what I need to do and what are the rules within the confines of what I need to do. And so that's what powerlifting has given me. And I think that's why I've done pretty decent in it. There's a whole nother powerlifting community out there that's just, I'm
another level.
Yeah, I'm at the bottom of that community, but it's still fun.
Do you document your nutrition?
No.
I know your lady cooks, right?
Yeah.
She's a badass cook, isn't she?
Yes, she is. I'm very fortunate with that one. I mean, she's a chef. So every Sunday she prepares my meals. I don't write it. She does all the work. So I don't keep track of it. All I know that I need to know is between the meat that my class is the 105K. So I need to be anywhere from 204 pounds, anywhere up to 231 pounds. So as long as I'm within that, I'm fine. But I like to lift at what weight I'm comfortable at. A lot of powerlifters, what they'll do is they'll drop down. A common thing they do is, what you do is you gain a lot of weight and you get strong as fuck. Can I say that? All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you get strong as fuck, and then what you do is you get your bench up to 500, and then so you're 240, so you're another weight class. You lose maybe a week before the meet, you crash diet, you lose all that weight, you drop down to a lower weight class, and you retain just enough of that power. Will you go in and bench in the meet at 500? No, but you can go in and maybe get that 500 to maybe 450.
So you've seen other guys do that. So when you see other guys doing that versus your way to try to maintain your normal weight and go in there and just have the strength that you normally have, just whatever you need to do for the day, maybe nutritionally, something to give you a little bit of an edge. After a competition, you're pretty much like, so if the competition's on a Saturday, Monday comes and you're just back at it, right? Somebody that cuts weight like that probably, is their body, how long does it take for them to get back into like normalcy? Is their body wrecked for a week or two, or do you guys know? Like, does it, when you cut weight like that and you dehydrate yourself and you drop like a crazy amount of weight over like a week, are you messed up for like 2 weeks?
I my first meet, and that was my biggest mistake. I did the whole diet thing, and I lost too much weight too fast. I went with the no carb. So for my wife, she wanted to go on a diet, so that's the easiest thing you do. Go on a diet with her, help her out. Well, it turned out that I responded better to no carb than she did, and I went down from like 235 to like 205 from
Jeez.
January to like April, just like that. It happened real quick. And so I had a meet coming up, and it boggled me. Like, I didn't know what to do. Luckily, another thing that I've learned is always ask questions. And I'm relatively a quiet person to myself, but when I'm in the gym, I'm much cooler in the gym. I'm telling people at work, Gym Genesis is a whole lot cooler than just normal me. I don't say much. I know I hold my head down, but in the gym, I'm a whole nother person. That's just you in my world. That's what I do. People at work, they talk about guns, they talk about cars. I don't say nothing because I don't know shit about it. But when you start talking about moving weight from one place to another, now you're in my world, and I love it.
Yeah.
So I lost a lot of weight, and did it hurt me? It hurt me, and I did a lot of questioning, talked to a lot of people. Somebody told me, I said, I'm losing a lot of weight. They said, what are you doing? I said, I'm running. They said, stop running. I said, oh, okay. And then I learned something called creatine. Had no idea what it was. All I knew is creatine made you gain weight. That's all I knew. Don't take it. It made you gain weight. Well, I did my research. That's another thing I do research. I'm pretty sure all these topics we'll touch on further along down the line. So I asked questions, and I found out what I needed to do to make it through the competition. And yes, I had a successful competition, but I went into my first meet not as strong as I was that I knew I could have been, because I lost too much weight too fast, and I didn't know how to. I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am now. Not to say that I'm just extremely knowledgeable. I'm always learning. Like, just sitting here now, I can learn from anybody. Just sitting here right now, I can learn from you. It's just you just always learning. So yes, for me personally, I have long answers for just simple questions, but
good answer.
Yeah, it can affect. I've seen a lot of people do it and it not affect, but everybody's different. What responds well to one person will respond different. And for me personally, that was just I can't gain a lot of weight to gain the strength and then drop back down to lose it. It's just my body is just wrecked and fatigued, and it doesn't work for me. But I've seen it work for other people.
So let me ask both of you guys this. A lot of times when people want to start going to the gym, or they want to start something, but they don't want to start the thing that require, like, hey, I want to start something. I don't want to start running, like where you're they don't want to do a solo thing. They want to start a gym, but they don't want to go to the gym because they feel intimidated. Do you guys both find, because you guys both been to a bunch of gyms all over the place, like regionally, and probably every time you travel, you probably look at where the local place is to, get a lay of the land. I find that most people are actually, like, the majority of places, I like to give percentages that are unfounded. Like, so I want to say like 99% of the places you go, if you go to the gym and like you get on a treadmill and you like say hi to somebody, or you're like doing curls or whatever you're doing, like people are usually really friendly, and if you ask questions, like that's a really good thing to say. That, like, I don't know. We also live in that age where if you learn something on Google, you feel like you're eager to tell everybody about that thing you learned. Like, there's a rattlesnake that's glow in the dark or some crazy shit like that. But it's just, isn't it the same thing? Like at the gym, like if you engage somebody and say, hey, what works for you, or am I doing this wrong, or like I know before last year I wasn't sure that I was doing my squat form was right. So, or no, I'm sorry, deadlifts, because I never really did deadlifts ever. Mm-hmm. And so I asked one of the dudes at the gym, one of the, not the trainers, but the people that work there, I was like, can you just watch me and like just tell me if I'm doing it right? And he watched and he said, yeah, it looks fine. He's like, if you hit like larger weight where your form starts, he just gave me good advice. And then, he moved on. Everybody seems to be, that intimidation factor is something that a lot of people have to get over.
What I'm learning is the way it works is, if you see somebody doing something, I don't give them advice because I don't know how they're going to respond. Some people don't want, some people are stubborn. Some people are doing it right. Some people don't want you approaching them and telling them, hey, do this. Some people get offended. Some people are intimidated. So when you just come up to them and say something, then that's where you may find a problem. But far as the reverse side of it is asking is a lot easier. And most people are helpful. I encourage anybody, if you ever want to have fun or see a good time, come to a powerlifting meet, and the biggest guy, strongest guy there, I guarantee when it's your turn to lift, he will be cheering his ass off for you. And that's the great thing. Everybody's rooting for you. Every powerlifting meet I've ever been in, I've always had somebody come to me and say, hey, offer free advice. Good lift, or this is what I saw, or you got this. You're yelling, you're cheering for each other. So yeah, as far as the intimidation factor at a gym, asking somebody, that big muscle head dude that you see there that you think is intimidating, screaming, he is probably one of the nicest guys in there and friendly. You'll talk. Look at Ronnie Coleman. As big as, if you seen Ronnie Coleman, you say anything to him, you're like, I ain't saying nothing to him. But then you hear him talk, you're like, What? I can't hear you, Ronnie. He's a very soft-spoken guy, but the dude is
a monster.
He's a monster. Yeah. He's a legend. And you're right with the intimidation fact. Most people are very, very friendly. The ones that are not, you'll know them. The ones who don't want to, give help, you'll know. But more than likely, you probably have stereotyped them anyway. So I encourage you, if you have questions, you see somebody doing something right, They got the information for somebody. They got help from somebody, and they're willing to share free knowledge. That's where it's at. Free knowledge.
Yeah. What's your experience?
I agree. Most people are willing to give out advice. I do agree with Genesis about like, don't go up to somebody else and necessarily give them advice. If you do, it's probably like a young kid who looks like he's never been in there or she's never been in there before, because they'll be like, oh yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I have done that. But if it's, like a middle-aged guy, kind of going at it, seems intense, like you don't want to go up to him and be like, hey, you're going to hurt your back doing those bicep curls, or something like that. But if you want advice from somebody, just go up and be like, hey, saw you benching over there. You bench a lot of weight. You got any tips or any exercises that you do besides bench that help your bench, or, something like that. And most people are more than willing to give out advice. I will say, like, I don't always lift with somebody, or I usually don't lift with somebody. So I'm usually not like talking a lot in the gym or joking around. So I usually have like a kind of a serious demeanor on my face. So a lot of people probably don't approach me for that. But there's been times where it's just like me sitting next to somebody and they're like, hey, can you spot me? I'm like, yeah. And then, we end up talking for, a few minutes or whatever. And, kind of got a gym buddy there or somebody, and you say hi to or whatever. But yeah, if you're not sure of something, ask. If not another, member of that gym, then ask the staff.
So I have one more question, and then we're going to end because the theme here, the theme of this whole show from start to finish, we're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about like how to live a healthier life. But one of the ways, like scientifically proven, is that you need to have a good group of people around you. So that's why, like, tentatively, the show is called Find Your Tribe. So it seems like Genesis already said, like, that one of the big things, like you have a lot of fun in the gym. You have a lot of you usually now you go to the same gym.
Yes.
But you used to hop around a little bit, and you knew like where it would be either. I don't know why you hopped around, but you do have a good, like, if we could say that, like, you have a pretty good workout tribe.
Yeah, I go at the same. I go when I know somebody's going to be there. Me, because I don't have a consistent workout partner. Basically, it's just me. But I've been very fortunate to go to a gym. I go to Body Max Fitness. That's my main gym. I also joke around. I have a side gym, which is Anytime Fitness. That's just convenient because it's 24 hours. But I go to Body Max Fitness in Maryville, and we have a group of people where people spot me. If I record all my videos and post them on Instagram, you will see 6-7 different people spotting me. Anytime I ask people for a spot, they are more than willing to spot, because I because of the weight that I lift, I want to take the pressure off my delts. So I always get a spot. So there's a great group of people that go there. So I usually go, if I go in the morning, I go around anywhere from 11 to 12. I have a bodybuilder friend, Brandon, who always helps me. He usually works out around that time, so I'll go when I know he'll be there. If I go in the evening, it's around, usually have a rush around 3 to 5, and then there's another one from like 5 to 7. So I'll go around then where I know somebody will be there. And honestly, when I'm dragging, I wish I could say I went in the gym every day, pumped and just ready to go. Sometimes I'm just going because I'm waiting for them to come. I see them come and they're in it. Hey, what's going on, Genesis? And I'm like, you know what? Let's go. Let's get at it. So I'm having a nice, good tribe. Keeping with the theme is very good. You don't have to have a workout partner, but having just that group, that it's the atmosphere is actually what you're chasing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the things I've been wondering about is, like, I obviously, like, I'm not a loner, so I know a lot of people. I have friends. I have all that stuff, and I don't think, like, I don't swirl around in circles where fitness is the main thing. I swirl around in circles where we'll talk about how much pizza we had, who drank, like, how much we drank, like, and I like drinking, whatever. I like drinking. I like going out. I like going out, staying late. I like talking with people. I like doing all those things. I have unhealthy habits. I have healthy habits. But I don't like when people talk about, yeah, man, last night I had like a case of beer, blah. Just drink. Shut up. I'm like, do your thing. But anyways, my point is, like, I have noticed that there aren't many people that I hang out with, let's say daily or semi-daily or at least weekly, that are fitness minded, that are health minded, that are like, hey, this is the thing that I do, or like, hey, let's have a clean, nice meal together. Let's cook together. I think one of the most amazing things you could do to bond with people is just not just have a meal together, but actually prepare the meal from start to finish and then actually eat it together. Or even that, just having a meal together and a conversation, and it's good for you. It's healthy. But like, Greg, like you're kind of surrounded by people that are health minded, or at least
like training wise. Yeah. I mean, like, when I was with Anytime Fitness training, it was great.
Which one?
The one in Cherville.
Okay.
So, it was great. I was around workout people. My close group of friends, like, everybody at least at some point has dabbled in fitness. And I really only have like one friend in the area who is still into fitness.
Mm-hmm.
So like when we get together, we talk about stuff.
Right.
And we've both been doing a little bit more like powerlifting movements lately.
Yeah.
And maybe later we can kind of talk about that maybe in a.
But you also still
time.
do baseball leagues. Like, you're in a couple leagues.
Yeah, I play baseball, but that's another thing too. Is like, with fitness, like I said, I got about one friend who's serious about it. And then with baseball, like, same thing. Kind of growing up, like, I mean, I had friends, just from baseball, but like my close, like, group of friends, like tight knit group of friends, like one other person that played for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I've not always had like that, like, everybody understand, like, oh, I got to go to practice. Like,
right,
oh, well, we're all hanging out. Like, yeah, I still have to practice, or I have to go to the gym. Like,
right.
I didn't get my work. I'm supposed to get 5 workouts or 6 workouts in this week, or 4, whatever it is, 3 workouts, whatever my goal is for that week. I do have friends that still don't understand.
Right.
So like I don't always have that support system, I guess.
Mhm.
But same thing, like it depends. And I've kind of been bouncing around. I've worked at a couple different gyms. So I haven't been like consistent at one gym to kind of build that like tribe, like Genesis was talking about, where he goes and he knows certain people are going to be there, some of his buddies. And then also, people do hop around gyms. So
Right.
I've worked out at Charter Fitness back when it was Cardinal Fitness, when it pretty much first opened, especially at the one in Cherville. High school was great because, there'd be people, maybe I didn't talk to that much in school, but I'd go there and I'd see them at the gym and like we kind of created that gym camaraderie. But I just haven't had that consistency at a certain time at a specific gym to really kind of build that back up.
Yeah. I got the camaraderie like in in high school. I played soccer, and that was just when you play high school sports or like even college sports. The guys that you play with, you bond with them. You can't help it.
Especially high school or college, where if it's competitive because you're practicing every day.
Right, you're together all the time.
You see them more than your friends.
Right.
Sometimes your family.
Right,
Just depends.
and now like I stopped playing soccer. I was I can't play right now, but I've been playing basketball for a couple years. I haven't played basketball in let's say 6 months now, but I was playing in the leagues, and you get that same feeling. Granted, you only get it for the amount of time that you're playing. We don't practice, but
Right.
you still get that thing like where like, hey, we played like this week. Now maybe each one of us are gonna try to do this, cut this out of our like try to drop some weight or try to get faster, or shoot around more, or something.
Right.
And that to me that counts too, because that's the main reason I like playing basketball. I like the competition, the sports competition, lifting, like all that competitive stuff. I think it's good for you. I think you need to get, that's part of the energies that like swirl around you, that you want to be competitive, and maybe sometimes you have an outlet. You might end up like being a little angrier when you're driving your car, like a little more road rage because you want to you want to get it out.
Right.
And I don't know. I think that's a good way to have an outlet for that stuff. To me, sports is like a big deal, and like anything competitive, really.
Like one thing I kind of want to jump off with that is like you brought up some sort of competitiveness from it. I would say that's like sometimes the downfall of fitness is that if you kind of go by yourself or even with a friend, your goal, that like drive, that competitiveness to get there is kind of subjective, right? So like if you just say, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds, you lose 20 pounds and you're not quite where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a little like demoralizing. Or, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds. Like that could be 6 months from now, 7 months. Like that's a long time.
Yes, it is.
Like especially from like, if we're just talking about fitness, like the bodybuilding aspect is, if you want to see results, once you kind of get into your mid to late 20s, 30s, like it takes like a year and a half to see, your results. So it's very kind of tough to keep that competitiveness towards that goal. And even with powerlifting, I mean, like, yeah, you have, your goals for the week, but once you start to reach your ceiling, like 5 pounds, you don't see that every month.
It's tough.
It's, like if you want to add 5 pounds on your bench or your squat or your deadlift, like it could take 6 months to add 5 pounds. But, just trying to kind of, I guess, keep that fire. Like it's not always
Right.
easy. That's why people set small goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, that competitiveness, like sometimes it's tough to see on a daily basis. Like Genesis brought up, he went to go to the gym when, maybe he's not motivated, but hopefully his friends, come in motivated and it kind of motivates him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started the year out just to piggyback off that. I started the year with a max bench of 405, and now I'm at 415, and I want to end the year at 425. So we're talking about a whole calendar year to put 20 pounds on my bench. Will I end the year at 425? I don't know, but I'm sure hell is going to try. I may, I want to get it. Do I feel like confident I can? Yes. But if I don't, guess what? When the calendar year rolls around, 2018, I'm still chasing that. But, I mean, when you put that in perspective, a whole year just for me to put 20 pounds on my bench. I'm 30, I'm 37. That's tough. Who can tell somebody, you know what? I got this workout for you. You want to get your bench up. But here's the only thing is that, guess what? It's going to take you a year to get your bench up 20 pounds. They're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're surrounded by like magazines and news and all this. So somebody's like, before and after, this only took me 26 days.
Yeah.
You're seeing somebody want to get your bench up in 3 weeks?
Yeah. So, yeah. That's a good point. All right. I think we'll wind it down. We'll be a lot more focused next time. Thank you guys for the input.
Yeah.
I'll try to edit this into a coherent thing. In the future, we'll also share if we have Instagrams. We'll have all that social media stuff. In a month, maybe 2, we'll have guests. We'll get bodybuilders in here. We'll get trainers in here. We'll get a bunch of people in here
I have a
to go back and forth.
bodybuilder friend that does stuff that
There's a lot
right
of
up his
stuff that
alley.
I want to talk about. I want to talk about nutrition more. I want to talk about sleep. I want to talk about like my thing for this week. Like Genesis texted me last week, like, what are you doing? It was a Tuesday. And he's like, I want to lift with you. And like I got back into lifting about 6 weeks ago or something. But I hurt last week, out of the blue, Monday, I wake up. I'm 39. I don't want to give that an excuse.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is like, I've talked about it with Genesis too. He's been consistently lifting for 10 years. I go through these gaps and I'll just hit it hard for a couple of days and I'll hurt myself because my body's like, the fuck you doing?
Right.
Anyways, out of the blue, I hurt my my trap. Just couldn't lift my arm up. And, but I tried to still, like, I'm still walking. I'm still active. Like right now we're in a bookstore that I'm like one of the owners of. I probably didn't have to say that, but like,
What type of bookstore? That's the question.
but my point is like, there's a lot, like I'm doing a lot of work. So I'm on my feet moving around. My regular job, I sit on my ass. It's kind of bad. It's one of the topics we're also going to talk about. Most people have jobs where they sit most of the day and then they get in their car and they sit. Then they get home and they're tired, so they sit. And how do you overcome that, especially somewhere like where we're at, where traffic is a part of life? And what do you do? How do you might find the time or the energy? How do you push? We'll talk what our strategies are, what other people's strategies are, because there's, like I said, there's people out there and they have figured out how to do that, and they are happier and they are healthier and they know themselves better. But the thing that I was into this week, I'll end it with this, is that like walking, I did that, and then I started meditating. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that stuff. Like I think part of living that good life, that fit life, is, physical fitness, getting enough sleep, putting the right amount of stuff in your body. And then there's other things, there's mental things. So we'll talk about that too. I think, at least for our area here in like the Midwest, I think the mental thing is the main reason why most people don't do. I mean, again, I've repeated myself before, but I say obvious things. So I think mental is number one. So that's going to be one of the main things we talk about. And one of the good things is that you guys are going to be examples. You guys are already examples of somebody that's overcoming those things. Those I don't wanna, those not today, or this, like my big pattern is, this is my last time. This is my last time I dropped it at Wendy's. This is my last time I'll stop at the gas station and just load up on like oatmeal cream pies and shit. And after this one, I'll do it. And then lunchtime rolls around and I'm like, well, that's the last
maybe
time.
tomorrow.
I'm gonna get a burrito and then that's the last time. And it's just, it's a bad habit to have, and it's easy to end, but it's hard to make new habits. So that's what we'll talk about. We'll talk about all that stuff. So thanks for coming in, guys. Thanks for listening. I hope I picked good music for when I cut this. All right, guys. That's it.